I think I'd pick the Jeep.
You'd pick the Jeep?
I'd pick the Jeep.
Oh my God, walk us through it. Why would you pick the Jeep instead of the Bronco to escape from the hippos? All right, what's up, everybody? This is MJ100K. Today we have a special guest on the show. We have my friend Dominick, who I used to work with at Cummins when we were both mechanical engineering technicians working at Cummins. So how you doing, Dominick?
Dude, I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm all right. I'm all right. Everybody is so happy to have you here, Dominick. So I know my friend Dominick works at a company that makes aftermarket bumpers, like those cool bumpers you see on four-wheel drive trucks. Is that right, Dominick?
Yeah, so I actually work for a company, and then we have another sister company too. So there are two of us that do make off-road bumpers, and that's Addictive Desert Designs and Deviate Off-Road.
Okay, cool. So the reason I brought you here today, Dominick, is because I don't have a lot of experience going off road with vehicles. Like once in my whole life, I went off road. I was driving a Hummer, but other than that, and that was a long time ago. But other than that, I never drive anything off road. And I know that you drive a lot of vehicles off road. Is that right?
Yes.
Right. So, what vehicles have you driven off road?
So, I mean, the one that was closest to my heart was always the one that I had growing up, and that was an old Toyota pickup. But since then, I've been in Jeeps, and then we did drive the new Bronco off-road since both of our companies own one.
Oh, nice, nice. So today we are going to be comparing the new Bronco with the Jeep Wrangler. So have you driven the Wrangler off road too?
Yes.
All right, sweet. So I'm just going to ask you a couple questions. The first question is, in your opinion, which of these vehicles looks better? And I want you to think of it. Try not to be swayed because the new Bronco is new. You know, it's a new design. Think of yourself as an alien who just got off of a UFO and he's looking at both of these vehicles. Which one do you think they will like better?
I still think it's the Bronco, even after that huge disclaimer.
Still the Bronco.
Still the Bronco.
Why? Why do you think the Bronco looks better?
Well, I like that vintage styling a lot. And I know the Jeep goes off the old Jeeps too, but I don't know. It's something about like that touch of modern with like also that retro vibe. I think that Ford just kind of nailed that perfect.
Okay. All right. Cool. Cool. Now, that's the outside. What about the interior? Which interior do you think looks better?
I'm actually going to go with Bronco on that one too, but there's a disclaimer there because it depends. So I've been in a few of those now, and like the really lower level ones are not that impressive.
Mm-hmm.
So if you go to the dealership and they got a low level one, you get in it, you might think, this isn't that great. But then I've been in one of the higher trim ones, and that one's really nice. It's got a bigger screen. The dashboard's a little bit more refined. The seats are a lot better.
As far as functionality of the interior, was either one have more room or less room, or the controls are easier to use?
Functionality of interior feels pretty similar between the two of them.
What about the engines? Which engine is more powerful, do you think?
So I think the most powerful out of all of them is going to be the Bronco's got two versions. Got the V6 with the twin turbo, and it's got a turbo 4-cylinder. The V6 has some pretty good torque off the bottom end. It is rated at the highest power, and it does feel the fastest.
Okay, so the Bronco again wins with the engine.
Yeah, it does.
Uh-huh. All right, looks like the Bronco is winning everything. What's going on, Jeep? You can't let Ford come out and take your lunch money. So as far as special features like off-road features, I remember our friend Tom had a Jeep, and it had a couple of cool features like I think the sway bar could disconnect some type of way. Do you remember that?
Yeah. So not only could a sway bar disconnect, but it also had just, I think they call it like hill descent control. So you could just type in a mile per hour and it'll just hold it on its own. So whether you're on like a high incline or decline, it'll just do it. So he could set the steering wheel, set it to that, get out of the Jeep, and it would just like climb up the little climbs by itself even.
Oh, nice. So does the Bronco have any of those features?
It does have those features.
All the same
So
ones?
yeah, it does have those same ones. So it has the same like hill descent control. I think they call it something different though. But when I did drive it, I did test it out. So I was able to just set a mile per hour and go down a hill, and it hits the brakes on its own for you and maintains that same speed.
Oh, nice. So so features are about even, I guess what you're saying.
The Bronco does have two other features that the Jeep doesn't, but I tried one of them out and it didn't work really.
And
So
what was
I'm
that?
not. So they've got this, I forget what this is called too, but there's a mode where you turn it on and you can like turn on a dime, and it's supposed to hit the brakes like in the back corner of the wheel you're turning against so that you can turn tighter.
Mm-hmm.
So I went in the sand and I turned that mode on and I tried it. And my turning radius was the exact same with and without it.
Oh, okay. All right.
So as much as they advertise, I'm not so sure that that one works. I don't know if maybe I was doing it wrong. People told me later I was supposed to hit the gas faster to make that work, but it didn't work when I tried it out.
All right. Well, maybe.
And then the other thing that the Bronco does have that the Jeep doesn't is one pedal control. So certain ones will have it to where you can hit a button, activate a mode, where when you're going up a hill, when you let off the gas, it'll actually brake for you, so you can control the gas and the brake with one single pedal.
Okay. So when you're going off road, do you like use all these features? Do they come in handy, or are they just kind of gimmicky?
I don't really use them. I use the sway bar feature, and then if it's got lockers front and rear, that's pretty good too to like use for like some pretty decent off-roading. But no, I don't use the one pedal, and I would never use the turnaround stuff either.
Okay. All right. So it looks like the Broncos winning a little bit, but this is the final test, Dominic. Are you ready to answer this question?
I'm ready.
All right. So, yo, you know that I used to work at Toyota as an engineer, right?
Yeah.
And when we were there, like, we would have drivers driving the cars all around. But sometimes we would have them do these things called scenes, to where we would set up a specific scenario to test to see if, you know, the vehicle would be okay, or if it would have a problem. If it would have a problem, we would report it to the engineers, in Japan, to get them to try to fix it, right? But those engineers in Japan, they would say, well, don't do stuff that's crazy that nobody's ever going to do. So we had to make sure that these scenes were realistic. So anyway, if I was still an engineer, if I was an engineer at Jeep and Ford, I would set up this scene right here, which is totally and completely realistic. Definitely could happen in real life. Okay, so this is what I would do. We would have both these vehicles, right? You had to choose one to use this scene. So we're in the outback, right, in Australia. And there's a big obstacle course. There's 1 foot deep swamps. There's rocks that you had to climb up. Then there's a huge descent at the end, or ascent, where you're going up the side of a mountain. You see the two vehicles, you had to pick one. But your new baby is in your arms, and you have to save your baby, because behind you, by about half a mile, you see me, and I'm on top of a cage. And inside this cage, there's 4 hippopotamuses, and they are going to come charging at you, because I've been starving them for the last 2 weeks, darling. They are hungry. They are hungry for baby meat. And they want to eat your baby. So pick, which vehicle would you pick to get away from the hungry hippos in the outback? Which one, Dominic? Answer quickly, please.
I think I'd pick the Jeep.
You'd pick the Jeep?
I'd pick the Jeep.
Oh my God, walk us through it. Why would you pick the Jeep instead of the Bronco to escape from the hippos?
Because I think when there's going to be really, really tough climbing, I think the Jeep's going to do better.
Okay.
I think there are certain obstacles that the Jeep will be able to overcome that the Bronco won't.
Like what?
Like really intense rock climbing.
Okay. All right, there you have it. This is a man who has used both vehicles off-road, and he's picking the Jeep to save his baby's life. Jeep, you win. That's it. We have a winner, everybody. The Jeep is the winner officially. Oh my gosh. Everyone The Bronco came close, but the Jeep won in the end. All right. Well, listen, thank you for joining us today, Dominick. Is there anything you'd like to plug while you're here?
Plug. No, I don't want to plug myself. I just want to be here for the good time.
Okay. Well, I mean, you can plug yourself. There will be millions of people that watch this video, Dominick. This is your one chance.
All right, everybody. I'm a photographer. I'm also a musician. So you got to look up D. Sandry Photography on Instagram, and then you got to look up Dominick Sandry on YouTube for my music.
All right, sweet.
And then I also work for ADD Off-Road, Deviate Off-Road. All your off-road bumper needs, one of us has you covered.
Oh, sweet. All right, thanks, Dominick.
Thanks, you too, man. Thanks for having me.
All right, thanks for joining us, Dominick, and have a good one.